Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, January 22nd, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll see here the previous session we closed the day within a very narrow range. It only traded 40+% of average daily range. What we talked about in the afternoon session of our trading room was typically when you see that, we may see a flush that comes in the next day. In that case, we'd be watching for some sort of failed low that develops into what could be an afternoon rally and continuation higher. Again, overall, this market remains very bullish. We may have hit a cycle high here, which means we could pull back a little bit more. You see the nature of the pullbacks we've seen lately. Again, this market remains bullish until it fails to hold market structure. Right now, as long as it continues to hold 3,800, even 3,780, we have more upside that could be ahead. And even then, if it were to break through that zone, there's still lower support levels here that remain in play that continue to be major zones to defend for bullish participants. So overall, this market remains bullish. Now today, if this were to extend to the downside, there would be a failure to recapture prices back above the previous session's low. So if it comes up to that point and really can't get through there, or if it can't get above today's developing midpoint, then that will suggest more weakness and a continuation lower. So continue to watch the previous session's low, which is 36.5, as a sign of further strength ahead. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. Now the NQ is trading inside day right now, very narrow inside day. The previous session again closing with a relatively narrow session. Today trading 46% of average range. Inside day still very bullish. We had our bullish outside day right there with the buy signal that led to a very nice rally out of the PIMA trigger zone. And again, this type of move right here is very bullish and remains within the uptrending structure of this market. And while we may see a bit more pullback because we might be at a cycle high at the moment, any pullback could still be developing by an opportunity for a continuation higher within this developing trend. So this market remains bullish. We have reached our target here at 13,369, the one we've mentioned for a while. The next idea here would be for price to pull back maybe a bit and then look for continuation higher toward 14K and that upside 14,274 target. At some point we will start making a move for that target unless proven otherwise. And right now this market remains very strong. Let's take a look now at crude oil. Now crude oil has gotten a big shakeout here. This is something we talked about before. We had been trading within this narrow range here. This trading range has developed over the last 8 sessions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions there. Today is a compression or expansion day out of that compression range. If we bring this down to 8 right here, you can see it's already compressed on the 10-day. But if you make it 8, we'll show you what we were looking at yesterday here. Compressed here with the potential to see just shy of 6 points of potential range ahead. So one thing we notice is obviously this trend remains very strong, and after a big pullback here, we've been seeing continuations higher. So we're seeing that push downward. We're seeing a violation through the low of that narrow range, and if we can find a strong low somewhere in here between 50 and 51, we can then forecast about 6 handles higher off that low. Because the upcoming move could see an expansion of about 6 points over the coming 5 to 10 sessions. So we could be looking at a very nice continuation move to the upside. Again, today we got to find a strong low. So this may continue to hunt lower until a strong low develops. At that point, we may begin to see signs of strength that could ultimately lead us higher down the road toward 57, 56, somewhere in that zone. All right, let's take a look here at gold futures. Now, gold is also sliding here at the moment. A tremendous sell-off here. The previous session, a very nice continuation move, but the previous session, very narrow price action. Very tight compression range the previous session. Ultimately, that has broken to the downside, and we've seen a pretty tremendous move lower here. Very similar to crude oil, we need to see a strong low here. We need to see a higher low and a strong low develop. That would open the door to a continuation higher toward 1881.70, 1900, and perhaps even beyond. And right now, we are seeing early signs of rejection in the lower time frames. Very strong rejection in the 4-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and a rejection tail in the 60-minute chart as well. Again, if price can stay above 1840 here in the very near term, that could open the door to a bounce back toward 1855 to 1860. And then from there, there might be a swing continuation off that low. So got to be able to hold 1840 today. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the weekend. Good luck. Trade well. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the trading room.